tend to even be healthier than single men at
because he
advanced age,
wanted to
because
go to
wives
the
usually push you
gym.
to do things like
Yeah.
go to the doctor, get a physical, take care of yourself,
sure.
or like eat healthy, because like men generally don't give a fuck about
But
any of
that's
this
not
shit.
the argument, though. The argument
That is exactly the argument. That being around a woman in that way can keep you healthier to some extent.
Relationship-wise, for the man to be missed and be actually longed for, you need that space. But just to answer your point as well. Look, listen, I get it. Looks may not matter to you. Once again, most women, how they meet the man is how they want them to end up on the long term.
But he's not obese though. It took like maybe.
That's the point, baby.
Yeah, but that's what it's.
Well,
not
you guys said he was
big
fat. He's not
information,
fat.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
He's on the way.
So,
We're just
you know-
saying how you meet somebody
Yeah.
is how you want them to be for the most part of it. If they change, that's cool and all, but you might be like, damn, this nigga kind of fat now. And you might say, oh
But
yeah,
I still
go
love
work
you.
out. But you said earlier he didn't want to at the very beginning. Why is that? He's comfortable. He didn't want to.
Yeah, men can't be
but
comfortable.
I pushed him.
Men can't be comfortable. And honestly, ladies, if you're at a point where you got to motivate your man to do shit, you already lost.
I love to
You already
motivate my
lost.
man to do shit because he's going to motivate me to do stuff. This is
That's
how
not
a
how it
couple work.
No, it's
This
not.
is how a couple work.
This is absolutely how a couple works.
There are
You
facts,
have-
and there's a lot
let
of
me tell
books, personal growth books that literally say that choosing the right partner is really key to that process. But one thing that I will say is when a lot of those books were written, it's a totally different time to what we're in now. And women are very different to how they were back then. So had these same people been writing the books today, maybe they would have written them a little bit differently.
No,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
you should still be choosing a partner that generally improves your lives and pushes you to improve.
Yeah.
Like that should absolutely be
You
a key
both
criteria in
push
choosing a
yourself.
partner.
This is like an exchange.
My
That's
point is
love.
that it's better to have friends that are pushing you to be better, because ultimately men don't really listen to women. We don't want to. We don't want to have you telling us what to do, and you don't want to be the one telling us what to do. It's better to hear that advice from other guys who are on the same level.
Yeah.
If you are the one that's going to have to tell me the relationship is going to fail, you're going to become unattracted, it's going to be losery. Imagine like you telling me, do 10 push-ups, and you're screaming at me, do 10 push-ups.
But you know, in a relationship, sometimes you do stuff that you don't want to do because that's compromise.
Well, that's how it
you know?
fails. Well, I would
No,
rather
I'm
not compromise in a relationship at all if I don't have to. I'd rather
But
we
you're
both
gonna
put our
have
best
to
self.
compromise. Love is compromising. For sure, you're gonna have to compromise
But
in a
ideally,
relationship.
you don't.
How
A better relationship is
Hold
when you're
on.
putting your best self forward.
That's a made up. Okay, that's an expectation.
That's what
not,
idealistic means.
No.
Well, if you're talking Islam and shit, isn't there like some virtue in holding yourself back from certain things that are haram? That friction that's created in life of you taking a little bit of a
What did I
step
say
back
that
from
was
things
haram?
like no,
Wanting to
hold
be
on,
more
hold on. Focus
masculine?
on use your brain. The whole point of what I'm saying,
You
right?
said haram.
There are some things in life that you take a step back from because denying yourself certain pleasures. Part of that journey of being a virtuous person is saying I don't need everything in life, and sometimes there's a little bit of like growth in the struggle. Couldn't you argue the same thing exists in relationships?
Well,
There
no.
is some compromise in love, but the reason why you compromise is because ultimately you're building something that's better than what you would have had just chasing, I guess,
Right.
girls on your own.
If you want
right?
to bring the Quran up, the Quran really values the differences between masculinity and femininity. It tells us to be separate. Women don't stay in the same mosque as men. They're in a different section. They really value men being in tip-top shape at all times and being the leaders and providers.
Yeah, but I bet husbands and wives live together in Islam.
Not always.
Amina.
Not always.
That's not-
99% of the time.
Okay, but you're
It's not a
saying
requirement.
it's not a requirement. You're saying go by the Quran. There's no verse in the Quran that says you need
No,
to
the
live with
reason
your
why
wife.
I'm bringing up the Quran is because you're trying to make this argument that compromise is bad. But sometimes you compromise on things to build something more than what you could have otherwise.
My
Like you're
point is
doing this
ideally
workout
you
stuff,
don't.
right? Going to the gym is a compromise for you.
No,
right?
it's not.
Yes, it is.
What am I compromising?
You could be eating more fast food. You could be eating more shit. You could be being lazy on the couch. You could do other things in life that are more fun. You could be drinking alcohol, but you don't. You go to the gym, you suffer a little bit, you compromise there, so you build a better body and you're healthier.
No. What he's arguing is that it's the man that he doesn't compromise because the woman is what he's saying. It's like he's compromising because it's intrinsic to him as a man. I must suffer and sacrifice certain things to become better. That's fine. He's compromising on his own end. But
Compromising for a woman's feelings is
There you go.
not the priority
It's
for
not-
a
yeah.
man. That's
if it's
a
not,
bad,
that's fine. But then you're not looking for a relationship, which is
Well,
fine.
If you
you're
think
not,
a relationship is all compromise, then go ahead. But
part
like,
of a
for most
relationship,
men,
a good relationship, part of it is compromise. That's true in business. You compromise with your business partners. It's true in friendships. You compromise with your friends. What do you want to do tonight? Okay, we'll do this instead. You compromise in every single relationship with family. You do it with family. Why would you not compromise with your
the
significant
woman
other?
has to compromise significantly more than the man does.
Yeah, and it's better for the relationship.
Not at the expense of
the
the man
person who
being the man.
compromises more. Here's the thing: the person who compromises more does not have frame. So, in other words, the woman needs to compromise more to the man.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, like both partners should be compromising.
Yeah, but the woman to a significant extent more.
It's better if the woman fits into the man's frame.
That's how it's got to go. The person who compromises more, right, is in a less leveraged position. The person that compromises
all this
less.
thought of like leverage and my partner leaving me immediately if I don't have the.
It's not
the
that complicated. It's not that complicated. One
it
is
is
the
complicated.
leader.
You're a smart guy.
One
You
is
know
the
this.
leader. One's the follower.
Yeah.
The follower must compromise more.
Okay, but so
That's
this is
simple.
why like all these women today don't want to date these men is because they believe shit like this. Like most people aren't looking to be led around like a child.
It's other
Like
way
people are
around.
generally looking for when you're talking to women that are getting degrees and are fucking lawyers and shit, they're not out here looking for a guy to lead them around like their fucking dad. That's not what they're looking for.
Yes,
they want
they are.
partners in life.
Yes, they are.
They want partners.
No.
They become leaders because they can't find
Hold on,
leaders.
Destiny, explain this to me then. If women really want partners, why is that no matter how much money a woman makes, she still wants a guy to make 56% more than
She
her?
does, but that number has been decreasing for the past 20 years. It
But
used to be like 24% of women would be okay with a guy out earning her, or her out earning a guy, and that number has gotten increased over time.
Here's the difference.
Because the culture is
Here's
changing.
the difference, though. When a man makes that money, he doesn't give a fuck what the woman makes. But when the woman makes that money, she does care.
That is not true.
So that-
Men absolutely care what the status
About
of
a
the woman
woman's
is.
income?
Yes.
Really?
That's
Yes.
not true at all.
So
It's
I'll
not
bring
true
this up.
whatsoever.
This is something you guys have a really hard time understanding because you guys are all new money, okay? Old money doesn't move like that, where you say like, I don't care about the woman's education, I don't care about the woman's income, blah, blah, blah. That is absolutely not true. If you go to old money areas where there are wealthy people, they all go to the same schools together, they're in the same clubs together, they're in the same fucking apartment complex together, they live in the same neighborhoods, and they have the same family friends. There are not
Preach.
rich guys in old money areas that are going to fucking Starbucks to pick up a woman. Now, new money shit, YouTube and actors and
That's
athletes
not a
and
good
shit,
argument.
they'll go, no, that's not an argument. That's reality.
Old money
Those women-
values education.
Old money, of
Old money's
course.
gonna
You don't
ask
see
your
old rich Jewish guys
education
getting
level.
married to like these random
Okay.
fucking high school
How
girls. It
did
doesn't
those?
happen.
How did, hold
You
on.
said
They care about the
olds.
father's money.
Old things.
They care
But-
about the
But also,
father's
how
money.
did those old money women make money? They're dads.
Yeah,
They're
it's about
family.
the
They weren't
father's
out there
money.
earning. The point is, we don't care how women earn their money. Of course, they're in those circles because they come from wealthy families.
Sure,
but
new
it has
money
nothing-
people don't. But if you're part of a decent family that's doing well, and you're a well-off guy, and you're going to fucking Harvard or some shit, and you bring home a random woman that you met who's just like some fucking whatever, your family's gonna look down at you for that. None of your family's gonna be like, oh, that's really cool.
Not
Because
sure.
guys don't care about anything. That's not true.
Because you're mentioning, here's the thing. You have outside influencers getting into the relationship, but if the guy was left his own devices, which you're seeing now in modern day, they will go ahead and marry down.
Guys
The
are never
reason why-
left to their own devices.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, because you're saying old money. The reason old money means it's family lineage and they had money for generations. So they're like, yo, we got to keep wealth in the family. We don't want you marrying some bum off the street.
Exactly. yeah.
But it's not because the guy didn't want to necessarily do it. It's because they're trying to protect the money and the wealth of the family so they can have generational wealth. But going back now today, guys that make money now, they don't give a shit because men never had an issue with
Yeah,
marrying
and what's
down.
happening to them? They leave
It's-
the NBA and they go bankrupt in 5 years.
But that's not the point.
Right?
The point
No,
is,
that is
my
exactly the
argument-
point.
No.
Like people,
You're changing the goalposts.
No, I'm
the
not.
argument is that men will date down. Women won't. That's the argument.
No.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, women absolutely will. New money women. Didn't Britney Spears marry her fucking backup dancer or
Yes,
some
it
shit?
has.
Right? Sure. Yeah. A
And
lot of
that's
marriages, a lot of
a
celebrity
gross
marriages don't.
exception to the rule.
No. There are a lot of exceptions to celebrity world like that. All I'm saying is that if you are highly educated, you tend to marry highly educated people. If you make a lot of money, you tend to marry people that make a lot of money. People tend to stick with their own. Their same neighborhoods, their same cultural areas, their same income levels, their same education. That's like been true of all of human history. It hasn't changed now. People that are super educated don't generally get with people with a high school degree. People that are super wealthy don't generally marry. Now, there are some exceptions, especially the new money world, but in general, people tend to stick with their own. That's like data that's been borne out in every single country since the dawn of fucking time.
The point is this. Women will not compromise and date down the same way a man will, is my argument.
Okay, men won't date down.
Men will date down.
No, they won't.
They absolutely will.
No, they won't.
Do it every day.
I will.
Yeah, because you guys are new money.
Bro.
But also, you want women
So
to be
what are you
dependent
arguing?
on you.
Also,
so
most
that
What I'm
makes
saying is
sense.
that most
checks out.
people, most men that are of actual status and have actual background and come from these types of families are not looking to date any random woman. They're looking to date other people that are of similar levels of education and
But
class.
they'll go on dates with girls that don't have a
No, they
title?
won't. No, they fucking
yes,
won't. No,
absolutely
they
will.
won't. You're not
Yes,
going to
they
find some
absolutely will.
Harvard lawyer guy who's on a date with a woman that works at Target. That's never
yes,
going to happen.
yes,
You
yes.
absolutely will.
What are you talking about, bro?
Absolutely will. You
Bro.
absolutely
Yes.
will.
That's not true whatsoever.
Half these people that they date on, it's just not true. And if you look at the stats on who people actually marry
They
and
might
get
not
with,
marry
it's
her,
not like
but
that.
they'll give her a chance to date her. They will definitely give her an
No,
opportunity.
they won't. You won't even get a shot with a guy like that. You will never get a shot.
But also, haven't
Absolutely not.
more new millionaires being created in the last like 5
Bro.
years than like ever
Bro.
before in history?
They'll divorce a woman with a degree and go find a young girl at Hooters, bro.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Again, that's it. It's like the easiest data-driven argument in the world. Like men and women tend to marry in similar backgrounds. That's like it's
But they will
becoming
still
boring.
date a girl that is lower than them. Is
No,
my
they won't.
point.
No, they won't.
They won't?
They won't.
But Destiny, if there's been more millionaires created in the last 5 years and it's going to continue to do so, then there's going to be more new money than there is old money. So doesn't that make sense that ultimately the culture can change over time and this perception can change over time?
I mean, it might change over time, but it
But
hasn't
don't,
yet.
don't you
And
feel like
even
do you,
for-
do you feel
even-
like it hasn't changed at all, even a little bit? The needle hasn't moved at all.
There's not that many millionaires. I'm not creating my dating standards around millionaires. When I say old money, that doesn't necessarily mean that your family is like a billionaire. It just means you're in a well-educated family. Again, these people tend to go to the same grade schools from an early age. They tend to go to similar colleges. They tend to be in similar social circles.
Right.
They're just not, you're not getting a lot of crossover from like really wealthy families to people that are really poor. They just don't inhabit the same areas.
But there's just so many like crypto millionaires nowadays, right?
There's not
And
so
social
many.
media people. Well, there's so many people, at least what we see
they're going
online,
up, but
right?
yeah.
Well, what you see online, but of course they're the
Yeah,
most
the
visible
crypto
people.
ones.
But there's not that many crypto millionaires. So very, very, very
Okay,
rare.
crypto millionaire was a bad example, but
Sure.
there's so many people who are making a lot more money than ever before, especially in the online space with the increases in technology. And so what I'm saying is with that, maybe this perception might be changing.
It might change, but even in those spaces, my guess is those people are still probably going to tend to date those people. Look how many Twitch streamers date each other. Look how many YouTubers date each other, right? Look at how many people that work in crypto people even that fucking date each other. Like that's still like pretty common.
You know,
tend to
crypto millionaires shacking up.
What?
You know, crypto millionaires getting married.
I mean,
That was a
see
poor
them
example, by
tweeting
the
shit,
way.
but like,
I'm just saying,
I'm saying that like these people tend to all hang out in their own fucking circles. Like this, they go on retreats together and shit. They go on like all these little fucking cruises and shit. They all tend to be with their own type of
Maybe
people.
in your circle, but that's just not true.
It's true of all of human society and all of human history. You can say my circle, but you're always talking about the
okay, maybe
exclusive
that's true.
rental
People
circle.
hang around their circles, but what matters more to a man is a woman who's going to fall into his frame. That comes first before any of that stuff. It doesn't really
No, what
matter.
matters
you
usually
can't
is if the
even-
man thinks the woman is
I
on
mean,
his
bro,
level. Yeah.
Men historically have always been okay with dating a woman below their own economic status and social status.
Below economic status, sure, but that's not always how value is measured for a woman. You said it yourself. A guy's not dating down because he sees a woman with less money, because that's not dating down to the guy. He's not selecting for that strategy, right?
But I'm talking about from a socioeconomic standpoint, he's dating down.
Okay, but in that case, women always date down because women are always prettier than men. You see how reductive that is? Because you would say that women are more attractive than men.
But I specified the socioeconomic status.
No,
I
but I'm saying what you're saying.
specified it.
But if I specify,
I didn't say from a beauty standard. I said
that's fine.
socioeconomically.
Socioeconomically, that's fine. But if I use your argument, I say, well, from looks, women are always dating down. But with the smart answer is you say, well, they're not dating down. They're just selecting for something different, much like the guy is selecting for something different, right? Like you always make this argument that women are hypergamous. Does that mean that men are hypogamous or hypogamous? They're always like
never heard
selecting
that
for
term.
lower. Well, sure, because it doesn't make sense, right? Just like if hypergamy exists, hyper meaning choosing up, that means that men must necessarily be hypogamous, choosing down. Do they do that?
What? No, that's
Exactly, right? So the idea that men are dating down means
I know
that
what you're
it doesn't
saying.
make sense.
Destiny, you're not making sense.
If
What I'm
women are
saying,
dating up, then men
You
must be
drank too much
dating
Red Bull,
down,
bro.
right?
women are dating up
many Red
socioeconomically
Bulls.
and status-wise is what I tried to say.
Yeah.
And I qualified that by saying socioeconomically. Clearly, I didn't mention looks or anything like that. Now you went ahead and switched but is it if the girl's prettier than the guy, isn't she dating down, whatever? Well, looks are subjective. Success isn't. If you're a millionaire, everyone knows you're a fucking millionaire successful. That's irrefutable. Beauty, however, is subjective. So that's why I didn't use the beauty standard. I used the socioeconomic standard.
Okay, you'd say beauty is subjective, but I'm pretty sure we can all agree with like some pretty concrete things. Like there's a prettier
broad
person than
things.
not.
Yes, there are some broad beauty standards, but what I'm saying is that I use socioeconomic status because that's easy to quantify.
Sure. But then again, I will retreat back to the stats that if you look, people in the top quintile tend to marry people in the top quintile, people in the top, the 20%, 20%, 20%, they all date each other. Like that's typically how it goes. It's not all these poor women that are
You're
marrying
talking
up
about
and all
marrying
these.
specifically.
But
Like,
if
if you're a Rothschild, you're going to want to marry
Well, sure,
someone that's
I'm
on
not
your
talking
level.
about just like
But-
banging random chicks. Anybody will fucking fuck anybody
But
at
if
that
we're
point.
talking
But-
about
but-
old
but
money,
old money,
the girl's
there's no-
dad is the one who has the money, and the women
That's
are
what I'm
typically feminine, and they're not career driven because they don't have to be because
It
their
depends on the
family has
community.
the
They
money.
can absolutely
Old
be
money.
career
I mean,
driven
I
and
have family
educated.
that's old money because of El Salvador, so I think I understand that more. And yeah, you date in your circle, but the women aren't trying to be lawyers and all this. Daddy has the money,
And
so
you can-
if they're marrying within the family due to
Hold on.
finances,
When-
but the father has the
dad-
money, not the woman.
My
Could I
dad
finish
literally
talking
has
before you
the
interrupt, please?
money,
I'm
and
sorry.
I'm trying to be a lawyer, so that refutes your exact.
Yeah,
Are you
those-
old money? Are you part of a society that helped build?
What he's talking
Okay.
about, old money, is education level, and I'm a second generation lawyer, so by
Yeah.
that standard, yes.
So that's
Guys
not what we're talking about.
men that are
That's literally what
successful
he
and
said.
have wealth and have
It might have went
education
over your
aren't
head. It's
raising
okay.
daughters just to be little like wives. They're raising them to be also successful and to have autonomy and to be able to do things in the world. That's how those men move.
Oh.
But who's going to command more attention and value in the sexual marketplace? A male lawyer or a female lawyer? The male lawyer is going to command more sexual attention because women care about a man's title, socioeconomic status, earning capacity, etc. Her, right, being a lawyer is not going to carry the same value as a man being a
And
lawyer.
it depends on the types of guys she's looking for. Not the guys that are just looking for a 20-year-old fuckable bangmate, sure. But
Oh.
like if she's like at a fucking law firm somewhere, she's probably going to be hit on like a fuck ton because it's going to be 90% lawyers there.
Yeah, they'll hit
Like,
on
for
her
instance-
and they'll hit on another girl that works at Starbucks that's 19.
Sure, they will, but they'd rather marry her.
I don't know about that, dude. I
Absolutely.
don't
Who do you
know
want?
about
You're a lawyer. You're a lawyer to law firm. Who are you going to bring home to your family? This girl that I met at Starbucks, or a girl that's working at my fucking law firm? Who mom and dad want to see
that.
more?
Here's the thing: her being a lawyer isn't as high on the totem pole as to make her attractive. Versus
okay.
a man being a lawyer, that's going to be extremely high on a woman's totem pole of being attractive.
Sure, I disagree.
Like, what, you disagree that a male lawyer has more sexual market value than a female lawyer?
It depends on where you're at. Like for instance, do you think a computer programming woman has high sexual value? You can say no, but put her in a college where it's 99% men.
Let's make
or
it
look
easy.
at like women in the army,
Let's make
right?
it easy, right?
Sure.
By the time you graduate from college with your law degree, etc., let's say you got a 30-year-old male lawyer, you got a 30-year-old female lawyer. The 30-year-old male lawyer is going to be much more attractive than that 30-year-old female lawyer, and the reason why is because that man has more options than that woman.
Sure, broadly speaking, but the options that woman is losing are people she would want to date anyway.
But but those men are now being ostracized because of her status. Had she not been a lawyer, she would have had more options.
That's true.
True.
So it's a
but
self-imposed
the options
issue.
that she's losing are probably options she wouldn't want to be with anyway.
No, if her status was lower, she wouldn't care.
Well, but her status isn't lower. She's a lawyer. If a woman is a lawyer at 30, and there are some guys that don't want to date her because she's a lawyer, she would never want to be with those guys. That's the whole point.
So she's effectively lowered her own ability to get a mate because of her success. That's what I'm trying to say.
You say lower ability. When I go on Tinder and I say no crackheads, I'm lowering my options too. That's okay though. Right, what do you mean? There's nothing wrong with lowering your options. You're cutting up people I want to date.
An argument by shifting the goalposts from lawyer to crackhead.
It's
not an argument.
It absolutely is an argument.
No, come on, Destiny.
Come on, Destiny.
You're better than that. Come on,
Destiny.
What the hell, man? You went from lawyers to crackheads.
Talking fast and loud is not an argument.
Are you serious right now?
All right, I'm gonna hit the chat real quick. Where are we going? 50 it up. We got 20,000 watching on YouTube right now.
Yeah, 15 up.
All right.
Professional goalpost.
We're gonna read
shifter,
statements.
bro.
All right. When a woman gets married and gets a ring, it doesn't mean a thing because her holes are still wide open. Okay, appreciate that. And then Christopher Harris goes, I know you're friends with SNEAKO. Even I liked him, but he has constantly been digging himself in stupid holes. Rollo was 100% correct. SNEAKO has not read the Rational Male. Talk about arguing.
What was he correct about? Like, tell me exactly what he was right about, because I don't even know
Harris,
what point.
follow up and let us know.
Yeah.
With another $100 donor.
Said that 10. Said that since Destiny befriended SNEAKO influenced him enough to have a bad take on this low IQ take. SNEAKO needs to stop hanging out with Destiny.
What? We disagreed this whole show so
Guys,
far.
you got to clarify specifically what y'all mean.
Yeah.
Yo, when only Fresh was on your side at the end, you lost, bro. Even Fresh knows that.
Talk about the last show.
Okay. Fresh man goes, why is it that when women are alone, they act masculine, but when men are alone, they don't act feminine? Interesting. Christopher Harris, I'm glad that Rollo got on because it exposed how stupid chat can be. Okay. Charlie or Camp 2 times goes, SNEAKO and Xena sitting in the tree.
Yo, come on, bro.
Okay. Charlotte Katuri goes, Rollo's tweet flew over everyone's head. His tweet was to spark the question, what's a high value man to you? Therefore, he couldn't answer that question in this context since that would defeat the point of the tweet.
Thank you. Common sense is common with Charlotte.
Okay.
All
Leprechaun,
right,
Destiny, your wife slept over last night and she didn't say anything about you. She's pretty loyal. You have anything you want to say back to him, Destiny?
Hey, it's a nice job, dude.
I think just so everyone, because you're in an open relationship with your wife, right? Like
Yeah.
both of you guys do what you guys want,
That
right?
is correct, yeah.
Okay,
So it don't matter
so the panel knows.
to them.
You should bring Dante Nero on the show. Look him up, yo. Friends with the late Patrice O'Neill.
Hey, Patrice gave some bad advice.
Josh Miso.
You follow his bad advice.
Yeah.
Nice last show, guys. Destiny and Deco proved why they're low value to us. No respect from the jump. Unable to
Deco?
understand, no experience or wisdom.
What
Enjoy
does
your clips.
Deco mean?
Lessony and Deco, like you swapped
Dumb
around your
SNEAKO.
guys' things.
What the fuck?
Okay. Always happy to see Myron's wife outside of Fed W Peanut Butter. All right. Thanks, guys. Rufix Legacy Production goes, first time super chatting. Watched y'all since 2020. Always good to not just have a motherfucker run the show,
Myron
but to have
Fresh.
SNEAKO and Destiny. Oh, Myron Fresh. Okay. Y'all can bump heads about topics and still respect one another, which is all that matters. Okay. Yeah, we disagree.
We don't need to be douche nozzles. about it.
What up, SNEAKO? Blue hair, you soft as a baby food. Go home.
Hey, what's up, man?
The poor old sense.
Okay, Billy Cho goes, ladies, do you want to have work during and after having children to pay significant bills in a relationship? If no, why do a majority of women prioritize their careers over finding a high income man? Real quick for the ladies, after you have children, would you guys want to pay a significant amount of the bills? Raise your hands if it's a yes.
Be honest.
Okay, nobody.
What? I mean, what would you?
Nobody. Okay.
Who wants to
Why,
pay?
not even the lawyer? Come on, man, Miss Career.
It's not that I want, like, I have a preference but the basic ideology of it that I think of it as is that I still want to marry a man that is able to still provide the life that I'm accustomed to, and that's able to provide that for my children. So if I have kids, I would want the option to not work anymore, and I would be with the man that could provide that opportunity to me. That's essentially what happened with my parents. My mom worked, she had kids. My dad was like, you don't have to work anymore if you don't want to. She stopped working. She was a stay-at-home mom.
I've said that before. Women always want to be able to reserve the right to not work if they don't want to.
At all times.
That's why that's typically what they want in a man. Blue hair need to be deported. Holla. Okay. Yvette Simonis, make no mistake.
Oh,
this is the
God.
official rating and 1 hour out call rates for tonight's episode. So, ladies, he's going to rate you guys what he thinks and then what he would pay you for sex.
What the?
He gave Angie a 9.
Bro, what?
$1,000. Nice, Myron. Thanks, bro. Gabby, $0. Zaria, $0. Stephanie, $0. Nina, $600. Amy, $0. Dom, $0. Zena, 9, $1,000.
Back off.
She got dressed up just for this moment. And then Akalia, or Khala, 5, $200. Okay, so that's what he rates you guys and what he would pay y'all for
Sex.
No, he put his IG in there. He
Feeling
was really about it.
Stick up, bro.
That's so weird, bro.
I paid
So
$100 to
weird,
say that.
Loose Furs Delirium goes, for everyone on the panel, are you aware of double speak in the English language? The word queen is slang for queen, an impudent or ill-behaved girl or woman, a prostitute. I know that. One Neo Lean goes, SNEAKO, you were on a bed with your girl you stated cared about you as she was getting smashed. Most beta moment and Fresh Fit say nothing.
Although they do say a lot. Trust me.
High value man.
Trust me. Look at that laugh.
High value man. Dr. Phil had 3 vasectomies and a child after each reversal. No experience in marriage / kids. Why are you talking? You have anything you want to say back to him?
Okay, if you want to get a vasectomy, go ahead, but I just don't think that's good for the future generation of men. And we disagree. I think that's the best way to fight the globalist agenda is have a bunch of kids. They don't want you to have kids. They don't want you to have a family. They want you to be scared about climate change. You are buying into the big elite psyop by getting a vasectomy. Go ahead.